Hey, what's going on, folks? I gotta pay a bill, so I got 1,500 or 1,400 bucks here. Let's go through it real quick before it goes to someone else and see if I find anything that's worth more than face value. Serial number wise, nothing really crazy. At first, I was like, oh, we might have a little broken ladder note. 1, 2, 3. We're missing the 4 and a couple other digits, but it would have been cool if we did. This thing is super beat, so it's going to be hard to give a value over face value, even if it was collectible. Another dollar bill. It's a good mix of bills in this bad boy, so hopefully you'll like the bill search. 2013 $1 note. I like to look at the seals, serial numbers, overall print, see if it's shifted or anything like that. Nothing in the serial number. 2013 note. Lots of damage to these ones, so condition's going to really be something to not call home about. Nothing on the back except for a nice little tear. Good repetition at 2525. Would have been nice to like repeat it across the serial number, would have been cool. Have kind of a double repeater or repeater serial number. Those can be worth a little bit, a little bit over face value, which is cool. Not this one though. And nice and beat up. Same little tear. Alright, moving on to a 2009 $1 note. A little bit of repetition in this one too, but nothing really in the serial number. And condition's a little bit nicer on this one than the other ones. A little free burn mark here from a cigarette or something. And a little bit of folded up and damage action, but still worth a good dollar. Moving on to the next stuff. We got ourselves some A5s, some 5s, whatever. Yeah, a little triple 8s in the middle there, but nothing pattern enough for me to hold on to, or fancy serial number for me to hold on to. I do like the 5s that are redesigned in the early 2000s, though. You can sometimes get some issues with print around the depiction of the seal in the back, or the eagle here, with the crest. But in this case, printed really well. It's like the best condition note so far. A little bit of wet ink transfer, kind of print through of that seal on the front. And sometimes you can get a little bit of misprinting, as you can see with kind of this over-inked one, in these repetitious 5s that they put on here for anti-counterfeiting measures, but no dice on that. 2017A, which was like a huge run of them that was put out, millions and millions of 5s during that time. A little bit of a shift down and to the right for the seal here, but nothing really too crazy. For a second I thought I had a kind of stuck digit on the 8 there, but it's just printed a little bit off. Not enough for me to hold on to. And a little damage, but nothing on the back there. 1/6, really kind of cool with the 3s, the 5s, and the 4s. It would have been nice to have the 1/6 out of there, or 6s, and then it would have been even nicer to have like 3s, then 4s, then 5s, then 6s. That would have been something I'd held on to, even in the condition this is in, which is all thinned out from being wet. It's old, older, 2013. And is really towards the end of life. You can see how weak the bill is, but with a good serial number like that, I've still seen them sell for 15, 20 bucks even in this condition, which is kind of crazy. Getting to the 10s. I mean, kind of a date note, I guess. December 17th, 456, but I like to hold on to dates that are like actual birthday notes. Well, I guess this is a birthday note, but birthday notes for modern day people, as well as like historical figures or historically important dates. Those are the ones I like to hold on to primarily. It's a 2017 series, a little bit of a counter stamp here. I do like stamp notes, but only if they really have the whole stamp on them, which I don't think makes it more valuable, but is really cool in my opinion. Just kind of neat to see what banks it's been to. 2080 1212, I guess it's kind of a reverse, like future birthday note, December 12th and 2080. But I think that's kind of reaching, so I'm going to pass on the bill for that. But something to keep an eye out for. Really damaged up also. A lot of these bills are. Now, when we get down to the hundreds, we might have a little bit better luck, on condition that is. Nothing going on, but a lot of kind of, for a second with these folds, I thought we had some misprints, but not so much. 2017 Series $10 note. Nothing really jumping out at me. Also pretty beat up though, so it's hard to tell in some areas if it's just damage or if it's actually a misprint or something. And nothing in the serial number. Back of the note. Cool depiction of the U.S. Treasury building. And this one's probably the best condition 10 so far, even with the fold. Keep an eye out around here in the repetitious 10s, and then sometimes you'll get kind of like blurring and fuzziness in the lettering that says United States of America. So just kind of keep an eye out for that, and then shifts in the seal and stuff. Get down to some 20s and then some 50s, so we're getting there. Yeah, a little repetition of 6s. 2013 $20 note. Little beat up here. You can kind of see where it's gotten torn, so that's a bummer. Nothing on the back there. Much better condition. 2006 note, oddly, so a little bit older, but a lot actually pretty crisp for an older note. Yeah, a little over ink on the one there, but unless it's like really dramatic and like a blob almost, I don't hold on to them, but let me know if you do in the comments. Or if you've sold one, let me know the value you've gotten. A little bit of extra ink going on, but not enough to hold on to. $50 note, 2017 A series. 17 and 17A are huge. They redesigned the 50s in the early 2000s as well. I think 2006 or something, 2005. For anti-counterfeiting measures primarily, so it's like when on the hundreds when they added the strip here. Just to kind of combat counterfeiting. Albeit 5s and 10s are actually the most counterfeited bills. I think because they're checked less and there's more of them out there. Another 2017 A series. This one's nice and crisp. Overall, really beautiful note. Nothing jumping out in the serial number. Usually if you see shifts in the seals and the serial numbers, they'll coincide with each other. Kind of some boogers or some free stuff on the back of this one, though. Nothing going on there. Down to the hundos. It'd be nice if I was actually holding on to this as opposed to paying a massive bill with it, but, you know, that's life, right? 2013 series. Keep an eye out around the color-changing ink in the vial and the 100, as well as kind of like misprints that can happen when they do this security strip on $100 notes. Nothing on the front of this one, though. Nice little fold. Independence Hall in the back. Nothing really crazy there. 5-6. Would have been cool to have 5688, 5688. I would have held on to that as a double repeater serial number. Nothing on the front. Nothing on the back. 2009A. So you can see not much of a difference other than slight shade difference. It's hard to tell in the camera, but slight shade difference in the 100 and the vial. Other than that, same markup of the bill, same anti-counterfeiting measures. I really like the redesign of the bill, the feature of July 4th, 1776 with Ben Franklin there. And beat up and folded up. This one's gotten marked on by somebody. Don't be confused with that. That's like ballpoint pen, not an ink that was used in the printing. Moving on, nice crisp 2017A. Yeah, a little shift in the seal here to the right, but not very much, just a slight degree. I just look at a lot of notes. And nothing on the back, so nothing stellar so far. A little bit of an older 1996 $100 note. We don't see those too often. You can see the print's kind of wearing out on it. We got a nice fold up here, like a scar down the middle of Franklin's face. Of course, lots of design differences between these and the modern $100 note. Same depiction, however, completely different design, graphic enhancements, again, mostly for those anti-counterfeiting measures. On the back of the note, we got a really heavy kind of press through of the front of the note, or print through. But unless it's obscuring like portions of the note where you can't read it, or you can read it all the way through backwards on the back of the note, I wouldn't consider it an error. Getting down to the last $700 worth of hundreds. Normally I don't have $100 notes, so this is kind of a cool bill search. We have a Series 2009A, which is a really large run also, even comparative to that old 1996 one, which was also a really large amount of them printed for that year. Nothing crazy in the serial number. If you want to know about the makeup of the $100 note, check out my video, I'll link in the description box, which covers $100 notes, what all these little numbers mean, the plate numbers and all that stuff, and kind of the layout of it. And you can kind of be more familiar with the parts of the note, and I think that helps when determining if it's got any errors or any collectible factors to it. Little bit of writing on the wall. Somebody wrote here $1,300, so they had about the same amount of money. Hopefully they got to hold on to it instead of like me having to pay a bill. On to the next one. Whoa, talk about some fives. Would have been nice to have 5, 6, 4 5s, then 6, 5. That would have been known as a radar note, which is able to be read from forward to backward, backward to forward, or like an ambigram. Or ambigram might be upside down, but you get what I'm saying. But a radar note is really collectible. People really like those serial numbers, especially when it's a radar repeater, where it's like this, with a good block repeater in the middle of it. Unfortunately, we're 1 digit off, or 3 digits away in this case. But really cool note. Nice and crisp. Would have been nice to have that collectible serial number, but that's alright. And Independence Hall in the back. Real beautiful depiction, but nothing to collect. Last 5. Series 2009A also. Nothing jumping out on the front at me. On the back, nice folds. Somebody folded this up and stuck it into a little pocket of their wallet or in their shoe or something. Nothing really coming out as collectible on the back, so we'll move on. 2013 series $100 note. So a little bit newer. We'll start to see like 2021s and stuff like that coming out. We've started to notice those in the ones. Nothing in the serial number. Printed right. I like to also check just for general print. See if it's shifted overall, one way or the other, up, down, left, right. Nothing on the back. Last 3. Bills, 2013 series as well. Close to a broken ladder. 1, 2, 3, or 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we would have had a 6 here, then a 7, that's known as a broken ladder, because it's like in order but broken up. Ladder notes where it would have been 0 through 7 would have been much more collectible. I see those go for $20, $40 over the face value pretty regularly for broken ladders if they're really good condition. Ones that are in straight ladders, whether it's ascending or descending, usually go for $50, $60 above the $100 face value, depending on how the pattern is. And other than a free little fold right there, nothing else really jumping out. This looks like just kind of damage or excess ink from the front. And kind of weird, but not collectible enough. Last 2, we'll just do them at the same time. Let me zoom out slightly. Start with the bottom one. 2013 series note. Yeah, kind of cool with the 9s in there and the 2s, but nothing really collectible in the serial number. Top note is a series 2009A. Nothing really jumping out on that one. Thought we had a little misprint in the hair there, but my eyes deceive me. Let's flip them to the back. A little folded over, but not too bad. Still worth $200 overall. And nothing really jumping out. This damage up here and discolorations from the money counting machine leaves these little teeth marks, so don't be confused by that. Nothing jumping out on the back of that note. Same deal here. I don't see anything too stellar coming out on this one. So, nothing really to call home about, take home, and protect. But I still got a bunch of money that'll be nicely received by a company that I get to pay a bill with. So, $1,400. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything too crazy, but hopefully you learned some stuff about what to look for in your pocket change. And not all of them can be winners, but the great thing about this hobby is if you don't find anything worth more than face value, you still got the money you started with. Let me know what you've come across in your coin and bill searches lately in the comments below. Hopefully you had way more luck than me. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.